terms of the impact of the SCM experience in Nigeria on me, I couldn't quite figure out how to write a usable book for a very long time on this. And it wasn't until the 1990s that I finally got the idea, because I had come from Canada. I had to learn what African Americans were like, because I was African Canadian, which is not the same thing as African American. And then I had had the experience in Africa, and we all here in the diaspora look to Africa as the motherland, but yet we don't know a great deal about Africa. But yet there's an influence that has continued over the centuries through slavery and so forth. And even though we've lost languages and so forth, there is values and so forth that have been maintained, and that these are big African values. And so finally I got the idea, and I decided to write a book called The Spirituality of African Peoples. And in the first chapter of this, I talk about, I said, before coming to the United States nearly 3 decades ago, I had the good fortune to live and work in Nigeria during the years 1961 to 64 as National Traveling Secretary of the Student Christian Movement of Nigeria, an independent ecumenical organization founded by Nigerians in the 1930s and affiliated with the World Student Christian Federation. I had the privilege to work under the guidance and supervision of the Council of Nigeria's educated elite. 3 years prior to that date, however, I had been a participant in the first Crossroads Africa program, founded by Dr. James Robinson and so forth. And then it goes on. And what I'm saying is that so much of this book is deeply indebted to the impact that Nigeria had on me as a young man, sort of learning my way into Christian scholarship and so forth. And so that's, yeah. And when I could write a book on the whole thing, but I'm not going to be writing a book on it. But a chapter. The other thing I wanted to say is that I'm going to Princeton Seminary has an archives, and I've been asked to put my letters and papers in their archives. That would be a way of them being preserved, and that scholars who wanted to learn about these, they could go, like the letters that I sent. What I did is that when my wife would be in Ibadan and I would be traveling, I wanted to keep a diary, and so I wrote her letters every day on the events of that day and my commentary on that day. So the letters are interspersed with private stuff, in terms of not that much private stuff, but some private stuff, but also in the record of the day's activities and who the people were who were my hosts, and even what we had for dinner and all sorts of things are written there. And so these are the things that would be preserved for someone who sort of wanted to get a good feeling for what it was like to be an SCM secretary in 1960. Yeah. Because if I were to transfer those papers and so forth to almost anybody, even my own family, they would not have meaning to people who didn't have the experience. And so what happens is that these things just get discarded. They just get destroyed. And they can be good archival materials. And who knows, somebody may want to do a dissertation on the SCM of Nigeria sometime.